Welcome to the Veronica Edwards Show, where we have fun, financial conversations that everyone listening can apply to their personal and professional life. I'm your host, Veronica Edwards, CPA, and today we are back, Season 6, Episode 2, here on the Veronica Edwards Show on YouTube. We are so excited to be back. I was sharing on Episode 1 for Season 6 that we have reached over 10,000 views on YouTube. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Because we just came on in March. So excited that you guys have been supporting. Our new goal for Season 6 is to reach 100 YouTube subscribers. We're up to almost 60. So we're climbing up there, and we're also looking for amazing sponsors to partner with us. Also, if you want to be a guest, if you're just a loyal listener, you can always like and subscribe to the page, The Veronica Edwards Show, and head over to balancevirtually.com or the veronicaedwards.buzzsprout.com site that has all the prior shows from before Season 5, before we were on YouTube. So I'm excited to jump into today's show. It's one of my favorites. It's a recurring segment that we have, Small Biz Chat with Ebony Robinson Austin, also known as Ebony Sharonda. And she is the powerhouse behind Ebony Sharonda Consulting and the creator of the Ebony Sharonda Show on YouTube, which I had the privilege of being on earlier this month. When this show airs, it will already be released. So please check out the Ebony Sharonda YouTube page. And on that page, she shares content on faith, clarity, confidence, and activation. So without further ado, I would like to bring back my friend, my sister, Ebony Robinson Austin.
Hey girl, thank you for having me.
Hey, welcome back, Miss Ebony Sharonda. What's been going on? So many changes since the end. We talked Season 5. It's been a few months. Fill everybody in on what's been going on in life with business. I didn't add in the introduction for those that have not listened to the prior shows. Ebony is also the COO of her mom's family-owned business, Cassie Electric, that provides residential and commercial electrical services. And we know that's moving more to project-based, so you can focus on Ebony Sharonda. But tell us all the things.
All the things, Lord, girl, we got a lot of time or not? Because it's so much. It feels like it's been 5 years, but it's only been a year of craziness. So I'm going through a divorce. I have moved back into my family home. I've got all my kids underneath one roof and my grandbaby. I am shifting my responsibilities with Cassie Electric over to project management, where I'll be focusing more primarily on just managing small scopes of work that are still electrical in nature, but just more of me rather than teamwork. And I launched Ebony Sullivan Consulting about 2 years ago, and we've gone through a large rebrand because Sullivan's got to go. And now we are Ebony Sharonda, which is my real name, and our brand, because it's all about authenticity and just being who you are. And I'm just really excited about where God is just taking me right now. I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, and you have this glow about you. Everybody's been saying you're just glowing. You have the beautiful golden hair.
Yes.
Your skin looks amazing. And so Ebony Sharonda. Sharonda is your middle name.
It is.
And I love that, that you're branding yourself Ebony Sharonda. People, please check out the YouTube page. Ebony is from New York. It has the subway as the logo. In the intro, it has graffiti. And it just has a New York swing. I like it.
Yeah. Yes, that's me. Brooklyn, baby.
Yes. BK up top all day. And I know you mentioned your you have 3 adult children, one that's still under 18,
high school.
all in the house, in high school, almost there, able to drive and work and self-sufficient. So I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
Yes, that part. Girl, it's been a long journey. We're here now.
You're here, and you have a 1-year-old grandbaby, baby Drew, and baby Drew has sickle cell, and September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, where we take time to increase public knowledge and advocacy and support for treatment. So just tell us a little bit about that journey. I know that's very personal to you. Shout out to Jylen, baby Drew's mom, our brand ambassador for the Veronica Edwards Show, and also I know she provides support to Cassie Electric. So tell us about sickle cell and how that's been with baby Drew.
Yeah, so we found out that Drew had sickle cell right after she was born. Sickle cell, yeah, well, they say it's a Black person's disease, but really anyone can be diagnosed with sickle cell, and it is a blood disorder. So essentially, she has low hemoglobin, and her hemoglobin sickle cells, so her cells will kind of hook onto each other, which causes severe pain over time. She has a SC type, which isn't as severe as an SS, but most people don't really know that there's any differences between the two. I'm the chair of the upstate chapter of American Red Cross, and so one of our initiatives in September is also to raise awareness around sickle cell. But in addition to that, one of the things that people can do, besides, of course, donate money, is donate blood. Generally, what happens once you get older and you go into what they call crises, it requires you to be hospitalized, and oftentimes blood transfusions need to be done. So we're grateful to God that Drew has not had any crises and no severe experiences during this time. But we definitely want to raise a level of consciousness around it and get as much support around sickle cell awareness and support as we can.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And I didn't realize with you being on American Red Cross that they're doing that. That's awesome.
Hmm.
You can also go to sicklecelldisease.org if anyone listening and watching want to learn more about the disease. Because as you said, it does run very high in African
Hmm.
American ancestry, like a lot of things, high blood pressure, diabetes.
Yeah,
Sickle cell is one of the things. Doesn't mean that that's the end, but that's another opportunity that we can give blood, exercise, hydrate, all that good stuff to stay healthy to help combat against that. So,
yeah,
Ebony, let's shift into business because that's what we want to talk about,
yeah,
small biz tips.
yeah.
So, we know that you're transitioning more into project management. So
Hmm.
now for those that are listening, that's something to think about because you were heavy into you're really managing the whole business because you're the
Hmm.
COO of Cassie Electric. But once business gets slow or if you want to pivot, what
Hmm.
made you think, there might be an opportunity for project management?
Well, I've always been a project manager, but never had that title. When I used to work for the Chamber of Commerce, I was the events and programs director. And essentially, I mean, if you've ever had an event, that is a project. You have a
Yes.
beginning date and an end date. You've got all these logistical things that you're managing in the middle, which is generally working with other vendors and working with whoever the end user is, your client. And so that's all basically project management is. And so things at our company began to shift in terms of the economy. We weren't really sure what things were going to do. I needed to figure out what my role was going to look like, as it was just like, hey, the day to day stuff was just doing what it was doing. And I needed to find another revenue stream for our business. And this was a really easy, low hanging fruit way for us to do that, especially with the partners that we already had established that loved the fact that we were minority owned, woman owned business, and that they needed us, right? They needed
Mm-hmm.
to have
Mm-hmm.
us be included in on some of their projects. And so, a good way for me to do that without having to have the overhead expenses of labor and material costs, etc., was to be more of a outsourced project manager for them and to take on a small scope or a material scope or whatever that project may have needed at the time and manage it. And they pay me
Mm-hmm.
an hourly rate to do that. Sometimes it's a contractual number based on the project size. But it was just easy. It didn't involve me having to do any training or me having to go out and hire anyone. And oftentimes, for small business owners who are listening, like if you have a skill or talent that you already have in your toolbox, don't reinvent the wheel, right? Just say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how can I use this in my business currently? And that's essentially what we did.
So smart. And I want people that are listening to use this as an opportunity that sometimes your business, different streams of income will come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
And instead of panicking and being like, oh, I just got to go out on Indeed and just find a job, I get you have to pay your bills. But like you said, think about what you already have in your wheelhouse, which you
Hmm.
can apply for consulting services. Because I work with a lot of small business owners that are now realizing, well, I can teach some of these things, Veronica, that you're teaching me best practices. That's kind of accounting, but it's really just business knowledge that they
Yeah.
can apply to their specific industry. So that
Hmm.
is so cool that you were able to pivot and also be able to lean in on Ebony Sharonda Consulting and the Ebony Sharonda Show. So for
Yeah.
those that aren't familiar with your consulting business, because you, like you said, you're going through a huge rebrand, tell
Yeah.
us about what services you provide. Who's your ideal client?
Yeah. So underneath Ebony Sullivan Consulting, I was already teaching classes. I had created a curriculum called Doing Business with Intention that I was offering to CDFIs out here in our community, one of which was Community Works. And I just taught hobbyists and entrepreneurs how to really get started. And it was more about mindset shifting and helping you to really understand what mission and vision was and how to get ingrained in it. And during our rebrand, and really during my whole life rebrand, because that's essentially how Ebony Sharonda was birthed out of it, was, a real more intentional focus on blocking out the noise and understanding that you can't even get started in a business until you know clearly what it is that you want to do, what your purpose is, and really an emphasis on my spirituality and my faith with God, because I know that He's the one that brought me out of a dark place that I was in during this transitional period. And so we're focusing on faith, clarity, confidence, and activation, meaning essentially we're coaching women in their transitional periods how to block out the noise and get clear, how to really build up that confidence that you need to really get activated on what it is that you are trying to establish, whether that is a business, a new job, your ministry, whatever it is that you're looking to get into. I'm here to help coach you through that and get you through based off of the practices that I had to implement in order to get myself out of a really dark place.
Yes. And I really appreciate you sharing that because I think, regardless if someone's going through a divorce or if they're going through a shift in, an already
Mm-hmm.
established business, sometimes we've had hobbies that could be
Yeah.
businesses for a very long time, but we're just nervous because we see tariffs and with new administrations. And
Mm-hmm.
there's just a lot of things that can cause us to self doubt, which
Mm-hmm.
those that have a business know it doesn't change. Once you get a business, you're going to continue to have doubts and there's going to be challenges.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Ebony, I know that you're going to have a class coming up September
Yeah.
24th where you're going to work with people to help them figure out, is it time to move this hobby to a business? Is it time to scale up? Talk to us about this because I feel like this event is free, isn't this?
It
And it's
is.
virtual.
Yeah,
So
it
anyone
is.
listening that has internet can jump onto this.
Absolutely. So we had an event back in August. It was called From Idea to Activation. And this event that we're having in September, I sent out a poll, and actually all of my followers came back and they're looking to figure out how to reinvent themselves, right? So they're like, I am
Mm,
in this space right now where I am in this transitional period and I don't even know who I am and how do I move from where I am to where I'm trying to go. And so
yeah,
this event is just a midday reset is what we're calling it. It is a lunch
I
and
like that.
learn. Join us at 12 o'clock virtual via Zoom. You can find the event on Facebook. It is Ebony Sharonda on our Facebook page. And hey, if join us and find out if there's any little nuggets that you can take away, not just from me, but from the community of women who will be joining us as we're sharing, we're being vulnerable, and we're just leaning into the truth of, hey, I don't know where I am. How do I figure that out? And how do I go from where I am to get to the next place?
Ooh, so I want to talk about that a little bit without giving too much away because we do want
Yeah.
people to show up on September 24th. But tell us a little bit, maybe one thing that you know that is a good first step into getting an idea of where you need to move your business.
Yeah. Stop worrying about what other people think about you. Let's start there. Right.
We can apply that to
Okay.
all things. That's true. Let's talk about
And
that. Let's unpack that
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, so a lot of times we're afraid to move forward because we're worried about. I just had this conversation with a potential client yesterday, and he and I were talking about his business. And I said to him, well, you need to do market research before you just jump out there. I know that, you need to know what other people are doing. And he said, well, I don't really care what other people are doing. And I commend him for that because that is, of course, one of the things that women, particularly, we struggle with, right?
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
we're worried about what somebody nobody else is going to think about our brand. What do you think? How do you
Are we
feel?
too expensive? No one's going to
Is
pay for
this
that.
exactly? All of those things are barriers that are in the way from us really actually executing and activating on that. But then you have the other side of the coin where people don't care, right? They're like, I'm just doing this thing. I'm out here. I don't care what nobody else think, child. I'm just going to
No
do my
strategy.
thing. No strategy. And then they get a year, 2 years in, and they're like, there's 5 other people doing the same thing I'm doing, and nobody wants to
Mm-hmm.
hire me because my prices are too high, but you didn't do the work, right? So you can't skip over the work because you've got a great idea. You really have to do that work. And you do need to care to some extent what is going on in the market, but you don't need to care what other people think about you as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
as a brand, as a business. Yes, you want good reviews. You want people to know that you're doing a good job. But if your core values, if your mission statement, if your values are good and you lean in and you are from a good heart posture of where you are presenting your business, you don't have to worry about that, right? You don't have to worry about that. So we'll spend a little bit of time talking about heart posture and what your intentions are. And if you are
Yes.
actually doing the work because this is what God has led you to do, or if you're doing it because you're chasing some coins, because we know that don't work either, right? We know that
Yes.
if we're
Yes.
doing things to fatten our pockets and not really for mission based and purpose fulfilling, that it don't
Mm-hmm.
generally work out well.
Exactly. And I've always have felt with entrepreneurship, it goes hand in hand, like you said, with mission work, with
Hmm.
community work, with giving back. Like this doesn't
Absolutely.
work if there's not a deeper reason for it. And yeah, you can, like you said, you can look and think you know what people are doing based on Facebook and social media, but you have no idea what's
Hmm.
really happening behind the scenes, nor should you care. Because, like you said,
Right.
what people think of about me is not my business.
Right.
That's not my
Girl,
business.
we have a book club, and our book club, we're reading Tab of the Ground, Feeding the Soul. And she says, honey, mind your business. And that's
Hmm.
my business. And these are two really deep, embraced things that I just share over and over again as I talk to people about minding your business with love. Doesn't mean you don't care. It just means that
Hmm.
that's not your business. And if you're minding your business, girl, listen, we got so much business to tend to. We ain't got time to be worried about what nobody else think about it or what somebody else is doing. So it's
Right.
just really imperative for us to just keep reinforcing it. It's nothing new. It's not that I'm inventing something that's never been heard of before. It's just so good to just have that reset, right? That reset to refresh, rethink about it, and get your mind off of all of the clutter. Because if your brain is cluttered with all of the distractions of the day, the world, what's
Hmm.
happening, you can't really focus in on what it is that you're supposed to be doing.
Period. That
Yeah.
was so many bars. And one thing I want to emphasize too, like you said, there's enough business for everybody,
Oh,
but you
yeah.
do have to research the market.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
CPA. There's 100 million other CPAs, but I had to one research what I'd like to do because I came out of
Mm-hmm.
corporate accounting doing certain things, which was totally different from small business. Then I had to realize, okay, I don't like doing taxes. I do like helping people with this. I do like to teach, but it doesn't pay that much. So maybe I need to do my own workshops. But like you said, I had to research the market. I started too
Mm-hmm.
low, then I went really high, and then I kind of had to meet in the middle for my pricing. But that's the part of the journey. People listening and watching,
Absolutely.
you're not going to know it. Like you have to reset your mind, like you said, that you want to embrace the failures because the failures lead you to the success. And failures in entrepreneurship and in anything that you do is not a bad thing. Like you have to fail
What?
to succeed.
My grandmother always says, nothing beats a fail but a try. Think about that, right?
Mm.
So the only way that you're going to beat failure is to try it. And so what if it
Mm.
didn't work out the way that you thought it was going to work out? You at least attempted it, right? And now from
Shout
that
out to
attempt,
grandma.
because she is the boss, okay? And she gives all the gems and the wisdom. And if you lean
Yes.
into that wisdom, right? If you lean into it and you really take that in and embrace it, you won't be afraid to go out there and just give it a shot. Because if you do, it just might work out exactly the way that you thought. But if you never try it, how will you ever
Hmm.
know?
How many
How will you
times have
ever
we
know?
said that wasn't that bad? We hype it up so much ahead of time. That's
Yeah.
why it's so true why we're so anxious in this world because we're so busy going down rabbit holes, which the internet
Mhm.
has allowed us to do. And to
Mhm.
your point, sometimes research, set it down, don't get obsessed with it and
No.
just remember, but it helps knowing what your purpose is. And a lot of times we don't know because we're moving too quickly, looking at what everybody else is doing. When if we just take our time, God would show us naturally. So, Ebony, before we go, we have to talk about the Ebony Sharonda Show, which is
Ow.
also on YouTube, which I love. Like I said, I had the privilege of being on. It will air this week that we're recording, but for
Tomorrow is
yes, so I'm excited. So, tell us about the Ebony Sharonda Show before we leave out, and tell us how we can like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And we'll make sure all the information is below as well.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the Ebony Sharonda Show is on YouTube. It is just my passion project. I'm having a blast doing it. All of my friends coming on, my family. My father and I have a series called Chaplain Chats, and we're spending some time diving into the Word, and we're just talking about just different topics centered around biblical principles and stories. And then we're just having other conversations with women in general, where we're just really unpacking stuff. Like I told you, I just went through a huge transition. I'm still going through it, and it's real time. And so this is my journal, essentially.
I keep
Um,
telling you, we have to publish. We have to monetize this, friend. We have to publish this
Listen,
journal.
we've got a lot of things coming out from this. I just completed a 40-day fast, so today is 40 days, and I have been writing a lot, and I've got a lot of good, exciting things that's coming out of that. And the Ebony Sharonda Show was one of them. And so we're talking about faith and clarity and confidence and how to get started. And so every episode will be centered around one or if not all of those topics. We're having a lot of fun. We're just going to be talking about all the things that's going to hopefully inspire and motivate you to either activate, find clarity in your walk, in your journey, lean into your faith a little more. Don't be afraid. Just let's be bold about our faith, right? And let's talk about God
Yes.
out loud and let everybody know that
Period.
He is all the things, beginning, all up in the middle, and in the end. And then on the YouTube channel, we also have the book club recap. So we've got Feeding the Soul. If you are interested in just refreshing on all of the things that we've talked about, we meet every Sunday for book club. And so it's just my ministry, right? It's just my way of giving back and sharing my journey and what I've been going through, and hoping that I can inspire someone else on the other side of it to get through it.
Oh, you
Like and
absolutely
subscribe.
are. Yes, please. And I like that you have all different aspects and all different experts. You had me on coming with a financial background. You had your own therapist on, Asia, is
Yeah.
it? And
Asia
she's giving
McMillan.
that
Yeah.
mental health and from a perspective of
Mm-hmm.
an African American woman as well. You have your
Yeah.
father who is a New York
Yeah.
strong man of
All
God.
day.
Is your dad a deacon or a minister
He's a
within the church?
chaplain. My father's a
He's a
chaplain. So
chaplain chat.
yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
so I like that you not only are giving life experiences, but you're also giving it from the perspective of people that also have the education behind what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
I know you dropped all the things, but we are to the end of the show. Ebony, if you can again tell people all of the things that you're doing, where's the easiest way to find you, to follow you, and to support you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Ebony Sharonda, and I'm on YouTube, Ebony Sharonda. You can please like and subscribe to our podcast. Follow me on the Ebony Sharonda Show. You'll get all of the updates on all of the things that we're posting. We're posting event recaps. We have an event on September the 24th via Zoom. Find it on Facebook events, and register is free. Would love for you to join us.
That's awesome. So, Ebony, thank you again for joining us in your very busy schedule that you have going on. Yes. And everybody, make sure you check out the Ebony Sharonda Show and follow Ebony's journey. And don't forget about Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And thank you for the V team and everybody always tuning into the Veronica Edwards Show. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcast, all the things, Spotify, so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, stay balanced and financially savvy.